Oops, looks like you didn't make the guest list, my sister said casually in a voicemail, while 72 people raised their glasses at my parents' $17,000 celebration. A party I fully paid for. No invitation, not even a mention. 10 minutes later, my mom shot me a text. Oops, must have been a mistake. Don't stress. We saved you some leftovers. All I said back was, understood. That same evening, I made one bank transfer and sent out 2 emails. Within 2 days, my phone had 53 missed calls. Then came the envelope, sealed with my name on the back. Oops, you didn't make the guest list. Aubrey's voice echoed again in another voicemail. Sweet, almost playful, like the whole thing was some harmless little joke. I was out on the balcony at the time, dressed up, gift bag resting by my feet, with a bottle of red tucked inside. It was meant to be their 30th wedding anniversary. The whole thing, $17,000, came straight from my bank account. I paid for everything. The planner, the catering, the venue, even that ridiculous custom cake shaped like the cabin where they got engaged. 72 guests showed up. I saw it all unfold through Instagram stories. Glasses clinking, boomerangs of my dad spinning my mom on the rented dance floor, Aubrey raising a glass during her toast. To love, to resilience, to real family. 10 minutes after Aubrey's voicemail, my phone buzzed again. A single text from Mom. Accidentally removed. Relax. We saved you leftovers. That was it. I stared at the message. No apology, no explanation, just a one-line brush-off. Like I'd been accidentally deleted from their lives. Like I was a glitch they fixed too late. I didn't respond right away. I sat there, the wine warming in the bag, picturing the party I wasn't at. Dad's laugh. Mom doing her signature nod. That fake approving head tilt she uses to impress people. Aubrey wearing that emerald dress she once claimed was too expensive. I bought it for her last month. Still, no invite. No shout-out. Not a single mention in the damn slideshow. When I finally answered Mom's text, I kept it brief. Understood. That night I sent the transfer. Fired off 2 emails. 2 days later, 53 missed calls. Then the envelope landed on their doorstep, my name on the back. Inside was something that would wipe the grins off their faces. But this didn't begin with the party. It started with the pattern. Aubrey would hit me up at random hours. Hey, I forgot rent's due. Can you spot me? Mom would text, your dad's meds aren't covered this month. Always followed by, you're the only one who can help. Every time I said yes, it stopped feeling like help and started feeling like duty. For 3 years, I sent money like I was paying a subscription I never signed up for. Aubrey's credit cards, Mom's insurance, Dad's car repairs. They even had a phrase for it now, handled. Whenever chaos broke out, someone would shrug and say, don't worry, it's handled, which always meant me. I didn't realize how far it had gone until one night I opened my email and saw a confirmation, $4,800 charged to my account. It was for the party venue, the one I'd booked 6 months earlier. My name, my card. No warning, no thanks. Just used. I confronted Aubrey. Her answer? Of course you'll pay, you always do. Like it was a compliment. Then came the Facebook post, the one that pushed it all over the edge. A picture of Mom and Dad beneath a chandelier. Aubrey tagged everyone, even people I barely knew. The caption read, happy anniversary to the couple who showed us what real family means. One comment said, wow, didn't think your brother was still around. Aubrey replied, he's not. Not really. I didn't respond. Not to her. Not to the wave of relatives who shared the pictures without tagging me, like I'd vanished. I stayed silent. Let the silence thicken and take shape. Then the family group chat lit up. A cousin posted a meme, a dumb joke about freeloaders. Aubrey replied beneath it, wish I could afford to freeload. Oh, wait, some people do. Mom replied, Aubrey, that's enough. But she didn't delete it. No one said a word in my defense. Aunt Lila just dropped a laughing emoji. Uncle Ray chimed in with, well, he's always been sensitive. Sensitive, right. Let me tell you what sensitive looks like. Sensitive is staying up past 2 a.m. doing my dad's taxes for the 3rd year because he couldn't figure out online filing. Sensitive is sending Aubrey $600 for her textbooks and then seeing her flaunt a designer bag on Instagram the next day. Sensitive as calling mom from the ER after my appendix burst and hearing her say, "Oh, sweetie, let us know how it goes. We're about to eat." It just kept piling up. Then one day I found something that changed everything. It started with a Dropbox link. Aubrey meant to send it to mom, but she accidentally typed in my email instead. Inside the folder, invoices, catering, sound system, her makeup artist, even her dress. Each one stamped, paid by Miles. That's me. At the bottom of the PDF, there was a little note. "Don't mention the money. He likes feeling helpful." I leaned back in my chair, eyes fixed on the screen. That was the first fracture. Then came the second, a message forwarded to me by mistake. My dad chatting privately with my uncle. He's soft. That's why we keep him close. Soft wallets come in handy. I didn't explode, didn't even respond. I just started collecting everything. Screenshots, email threads, chat logs, each one a quiet receipt. Then came the voicemail. Aubrey again. Her tone? Faux casual. "Oops, you're off the guest list." She chuckled like it was no big deal. Just a harmless glitch that erased me from the RSVP. 10 minutes later, mom chimed in via text. "Relax, we saved you leftovers." Leftovers. Like I was some stray mutt sniffing around for scraps they nearly forgot to toss. But it was the third crack, the one that truly split something inside me that came from someone I trusted. Derek, a friend, a web designer, the one I hired to build the website for our family bakery. He messaged me with a screenshot, a chat with Aubrey. "Derek, he should get credit." Aubrey, "He doesn't need it." It was mom's idea anyway. Derek, "But he paid for the domain, the hosting, everything." Aubrey, "Yeah, we'll just keep charging his card until he catches on." That night I logged into the server, reset the admin password, and shut the whole site down. I left a message on the homepage. "Temporarily unavailable due to unpaid debts. Please contact the account holder for further details." 2 hours later, Aubrey called. 16 times. I ignored everyone. By morning, I got a security alert. Someone tried logging into my account from an unknown device. The IP, Aubrey's house. 2 hours after that, I let another call go to voicemail. This time it was Dad. His voice was sharp, clipped, all frost. "You made your choice. Don't expect us to be nice about it." And just like that, it all clicked. This wasn't family. This was a financial arrangement. And I was the open account. So I made another transfer. But not to them. I sent everything. The full archive, screenshots, emails, bank records, audio clips. To two people. One was my lawyer. The other? My dad's ex-business partner. Someone who owed me a favor. I wrote one sentence beneath the files. "I'm done funding the fantasy. They don't know it yet, but they will. Soon." Then came the invite. A family reconciliation dinner. Like that word, reconciliation, could erase betrayal. The message was from Mom, neatly composed. "Let's talk. No drama. Just family. Just family." I almost laughed. They picked a restaurant I knew too well. Neutral ground, soft lighting, no hard surfaces, nothing sharp, nothing loud. The kind of place where people cry quietly into their creme brulee and no one blinks. I walked in exactly on time. Aubrey, Mom, and Dad were already seated. Napkins folded, menus untouched, like they were performing a scene. Aubrey wore white, some hollow symbol of innocence. Dad looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. His jaw tight, shirt freshly ironed, a rare effort. Mom smiled that tight, brittle smile she always used when she knew disaster was coming, but was trying to will it away. I sat down, said nothing. Aubrey, of course, went first, her voice syrupy, measured. "I know there's been tension," she began. "Things got twisted, but I just want to say," she glanced at Mom, "I forgive you." I blinked. "Forgive me?" Then Dad leaned forward, tone low and bitter. "Let's end this circus. We're not perfect, all right? But you're the one who turned it into a war. You didn't have to burn everything down." Mom reached for my wrist. "We're family," she said gently. "We screw up sometimes. That doesn't mean you destroy us." I didn't speak. I just reached into my bag and pulled out my tablet. Aubrey recoiled like I'd drawn a knife. I tapped the screen and mirrored the display to the little TV hanging over the bar. I had already called ahead. The waiter paused, puzzled, then intrigued. Every diner turned their head. I didn't care. Slide 1, screenshots. Aubrey's email to the event planner. He doesn't need to be invited. He'll pay either way. Dad's message to Uncle. As long as the boy pays, he'll feel like he matters. Mom's DM to Aubrey. Just take his name off the RSVP. We'll blame a glitch. People at the next table gasped. They kept watching. Slide 2. Audio clips. I hit play on one of them. A voice memo Aubrey sent her friend. One she never thought I'd hear. Her voice played clearly, sharp, cutting, unmistakable. He's obsessed with being needed, she said. All I have to do is cry and say, but you're the only one who can help. And boom, he opens his wallet. You could hear laughter in the background. Aubrey's face went pale, like the blood drained right out of her. Then I switched to slide 3. The bank statements. 10 months of transfers. Every single one sent by me. To her, to Mom, to Dad. No reimbursements, no acknowledgments. Just the word handled scribbled next to each one, like I was some faceless ATM. And then came the final piece. This is Connor, I said, as a tall man stepped out from the corner of the room. Aubrey froze. Connor, her ex, walked up to the table slowly. His demeanor? Calm, composed, professional. He held a folder in one hand. I told you, Aubrey, he began, opening the folder. If you ever did this to someone else, I'd come forward. He laid down the papers on the table. Messages, fabricated screenshots, fake emails from their breakup. Evidence showing how she tried to frame him for harassment. A transcript pulled from her own laptop. At the top of one document, Plan B, how to ruin him. He looked straight at my parents. She's been pulling this for years, he said, and you've let her. You turned a blind eye. And now, you used your own son the same way. A heavy silence settled over the table. Thick, suffocating. My father stood up. Get out, he snapped. You're no longer part of this family. I rose from my seat, too. You're right, I said quietly. I'm not. I turned and faced the room. People were watching now, eyes wide, forks frozen midair. My name is Mile, I said clearly, and for the last 3 years, I've paid to keep this family afloat. Rent, credit cards, groceries, medical bills, car repairs, that ridiculous cake, the champagne, even the chairs at that party. Yes, the one with 72 guests. I pointed at Aubrey. She erased me from the guest list. Not by accident, on purpose. I wasn't forgotten. I was deleted. Then I looked at my mother. You called it a mistake, told me to relax, said you saved me leftovers. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. I leaned in toward my father, locked eyes. You told me I made a choice. You're right again. I reached into my coat and pulled out a small envelope, dropped it on the table. That's a cease and desist, I said. You're forbidden from using my name, image, finances, or any part of me in any personal, business, or public context. Break that order and I'll sue, and I will win. I turned to leave. Dad grabbed my arm. You think this makes you powerful? He hissed. I shook him off. No, I said. It just makes me free. As I walked past the bar, I stopped for a second, nodded toward the waiter, and said, Keep the screen up for 5 more minutes. Will do, he replied. They had been bracing for fireworks, a tantrum, maybe a midnight voicemail, a long rant on social media they could all roll their eyes at. They expected rage, screaming, slam doors, noise, but rage is loud. And I had chosen silence. The first thing I cut off was the phone number, the one they dialed every time Aubrey needed rent, or Dad's truck needed fixing, or Mom forgot the electric bill again. That number? Gone. Now, whenever they called, they were met with a calm, automated message. This number's no longer in service. I imagined Mom frowning at her phone, tapping it twice, thinking she'd dialed it wrong. She hadn't. I had already signed the paperwork, new phone, new number, encrypted device, no shared cloud, no GPS, no family plan. The digital cord was cut, permanently. Then I moved on to the money. I logged into my accounts and started scrubbing. Aubrey's emergency auto transfer, deleted. Mom's Amazon Prime, canceled. Dad's PayPal, quietly linked to my backup card, revoked. I went through login records, flagged every shady attempt I hadn't noticed. Turns out Aubrey accessed my savings account at 2:14 a.m. one night in December. Then again in February while I was knocked out on a red-eye flight to Denver. I called the bank. "This is unauthorized access," I said. "I want to file a fraud report." They took it seriously, locked the account, escalated it to the fraud team, set up a formal follow-up. Then I tackled the house. 3 years ago, I co-signed the mortgage to stop my parents from losing their home. They said it was temporary. It wasn't. They never refinanced, never even checked if I was still on the loan. I called the mortgage company. "I want to begin the removal process as co-owner," I said. The woman on the line paused. "Is this part of a separation?" she asked. "Yes," I replied. "A complete one." She explained that if my parents couldn't qualify for the full loan on their own, they'd need to refinance or risk default. I didn't blink. "Understood," I said. I opened the folder I'd labeled "in case they burn it all down." For years, I assumed I'd never actually need it, but that day had finally come. Inside, my dad's VA grant paperwork, complete with falsified info, a forged DD-214 military discharge form, screenshots of Aubrey asking for my login details, pretending it was just to check something real quick. Emails from Mom where she forwarded my payslip to some friend who turned out to be their financial advisor. I reviewed everything. Then I sent the entire folder to my lawyer with just one line: "Activate everything." He didn't ask questions. He never needed to. Within 2 hours, certified cease and desist letters were en route, formally printed on thick ivory cardstock, the kind that said final notice just by touch. Each envelope read the same: "Effective immediately, you are to cease all use of my name, image, financial identity, and digital data. Any further contact will be considered harassment and pursued legally." And then I made the final call to the VA fraud department. I submitted an anonymous report, attached all supporting documents, scrubbed identifying info. It was enough to initiate a preliminary audit. By the next morning, they were already reviewing Dad's records, quietly just as I'd hoped. While they were still scrambling for ways to reach me, I was signing a lease in Chicago. The place wasn't huge, but it was clean, filled with light, and, most importantly, 5 states away from their dysfunction. I wired the deposit, booked movers, got the green light for remote work. Then I did something I hadn't planned on doing. I shut down the bakery website. Yes, that website. The one I paid for. The one filled with family photos and Aubrey's sappy Our Sweet Legacy copy. I logged in, changed the password, and replaced the homepage with one sentence: "This domain is no longer available." No rant, no farewell message. Just silence. Precise and surgical. 3 days later, Aubrey reached out. Not to me directly, of course. She texted an old friend of mine. "Please, I just need to talk to him. It's not about money." It always was. Mom sent a letter. No envelope, just a single sheet of paper, folded once. The handwriting was shaky. "You hurt us too. You went too far. Dad isn't well. We're family. That still has to mean something." I didn't respond. I shredded it, piece by piece, slowly. Then came a new tactic, a legal threat, a letter from some local lawyer, probably someone Dad found in a Google search. They accused me of malicious disruption of family-owned property and emotional harm. My lawyer glanced at it, chuckled, and said, "This is a last gasp. They don't have a case, they just want a reaction." They wouldn't get one. That Sunday, I stepped into my new loft, dropped my one suitcase in the middle of the empty room, opened the only box labeled after. Inside, my framed high school diploma, a photo of 12-year-old me on a solo hiking trail, and a bottle of wine I'd bought for the anniversary party that I never attended. I poured a glass, sat by the window, watched the city breathe. No yelling, no buzzing phone, no guilt hanging in the air, just space. And for once, it belonged to me. It took 3 weeks before the quiet started to feel like peace instead of punishment. At first, I kept checking my phone out of habit, muscle memory. But there were no missed calls, no texts. Not even a desperate PayPal ping from Aubrey. Only silence. And that silence, it was stunning. For the first time in years, I could hear my life again. The soft click of the fridge door, the distant hum of the city, my own footsteps on hardwood floors I paid for. Not once did I reach out. Not when I stumbled on an old photo album while unpacking. Not when I walked past a bakery that smelled exactly like Mom's Saturday pies. Not even when I got a voicemail from an unknown number and, just for a second, I thought it might be Dad. It wasn't, and it never will be. What did I learn? They didn't break me. They conditioned me to confuse betrayal with love, to treat guilt like currency, to believe that survival required submission. But I was never the problem. I was the resource. And when I cut them off, they called it cruelty. Because people who live off you will always call your boundaries attacks. Dad taught me that discipline is just shame in a suit. Mom taught me that staying silent is the same as being complicit. Aubrey, she taught me that family is what people yell when they're caught stealing from you. But me, I finally taught myself how to leave. And just last week, I got one final letter. No return address. No name. Inside, just a photo. Me and Aubrey as kids. Backyard. Popsicles in hand. A torn corner taped back together. On the back, a single sentence scribbled in rushed cursive. You really gonna throw this away? No signature. I stared at the photo for 5 seconds. No more. Then I folded it, slow and deliberate, and fed it into the shredder. The same hands that once erased me from a guest list like I was some extra line in a spreadsheet. Now they wanted to remind me we were once close? No thanks. I don't hold on to clutter anymore, and that's what they became. Emotional debris. Since then, I've been building something. Not a business, not a public comeback, just a quiet, steady life that actually feels like it belongs to me. Now the little things hold weight. Buying groceries and knowing exactly whose fridge they're going in. Mine. Paying rent without checking if Aubrey's latest emergency overdrew my account again. Sleeping peacefully without setting a backup alarm in case Dad forgot to pick up his prescription. My mornings are calm. My money stays in my wallet. And my voice, it doesn't shake when I say no anymore. In that silence, I found something bigger than revenge. Something purer than rage. I don't want an apology. What I want is distance. This morning, I wrote my final letter. No emotion, no poison, just clean facts. I folded it, tucked inside a spare key to the house I once helped save. The originals were long gone, but this wasn't about utility. It was a symbol. I mailed it to the address that used to be my home. The note inside was short. He's returned. Family not included. No forwarding address. I don't know what expression twisted my father's face when he opened it. I don't know what Aubrey yelled, or if she screamed at all. I don't know if Mom cried, or if she just stared, numb and silent. And for the first time in my entire life, I can say, I don't care. They don't get to call me overdramatic, or ungrateful, or selfish. They had years, and they chose silence, debt, manipulation, and they buried me beneath it, thinking I'd never dig myself out. They were wrong. So here's the truth. Stripped of drama and guilt, I'm not the villain. I'm not the hero. I'm not broken. I'm not bitter. I'm not waiting on closure like a fool still hoping for a knock on the door. I'm gone. And they're not coming with me. Let the silence echo louder than every word I never said. Let them toast to their fantasies. Let them scroll, stalk, whisper, and wonder. Because the one thing they'll never have again, access. The last time I held my old phone, I paused. For a second, I could feel the weight of all their voices stored inside. Late night guilt trips, voicemail bombs, text messages disguised as emergencies. Then I placed it in a drawer, locked it, and walked away. Not in a fury, not in tears, just in freedom. That's the real ending. No shouting, no scene, no smoke, just a soft, clear truth. I owe them nothing, and I never will again.